he's not these guys' friends. And then I got mad because I was like, he's standing next to me. These motherfuckers think that he's with me. Who are you? And there were 2 people in the room. One of them is Dr. Dre, okay? Clip it. I hate Ryan Reynolds. I always had a lot of fun, like, f***ing around with Bobby Lee.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, he's just too funny to improv with. I told you to put him back.
I'm stressed for you, man. Did you review the contract? When he's 16, what's like something you would want him to focus on so he could really stay out of the fire that burns you?
I feel like I wanted somebody to tell me I am good and I'm like worthy and I'm okay the way I am, you know? But I feel like I would want Calvin and William to know that like you're enough, you know, because you're you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Janko Show. I'm very excited to introduce our guest today. His name is Chris D'Elia. If you guys haven't seen his stand-up, please pause what you are doing and go watch his stand-up. But if you guys have seen him, you guys are in for an amazing podcast today. We have some funny moments, we have some deep moments. So buckle up, like and subscribe, and enjoy today's interview with Chris D'Elia.
It's too loud in my headphones.
Is it?
It's so loud.
Is that fixing
I can hear your thoughts.
Is that fixing?
That's better. There you go. There you go.
Your
That's
face
better.
had such a concern in it.
It was so loud.
Okay.
But now it's good. Did you even check my headphones before?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, then, I mean, fucking check, dude. It was so loud. And I didn't want to take it off because I want to seem like a...
You're like,
wait. You check your guests' headphones?
I don't have guests. It's only me doing the podcast because I don't want to have to deal with shit like that. I don't want to have to deal with people not showing up, people like saying like, oh, we got to move the time. It's like even this one, this is your podcast. We were supposed to do it Friday. And he called me. He's like, dude, can we do it Wednesday? I was sick.
Yeah.
You weren't even sick anymore. Oh, yeah, you're sick. You're sick.
we didn't want to get you sick.
I know, that was sweet. But I'm like, all right, that's fine. Like, I don't even want to deal with that. I want to do my own podcast. That's why I have my podcast, and I have my podcast with my brother.
So you lied to me when you said it was okay.
What was okay?
Because obviously it's not okay.
It was okay. I don't give a shit. But this is the whole reason why I don't have guests.
Hey, man, tell yourself that.
No, I don't care. This is fine. Honestly, we were either going to do it Friday or this.
It's
Friday or this Wednesday or Friday, and then I'm just doing nothing, so I'm chilling. I'm just being a dad. So I was like, all right, that's fine.
How was that, being a dad?
Awesome. I'm a dad now. This is the second time I got another kid. He's 3 months old. And yeah, it's the best. It's so funny. Every day is absolutely hilarious.
Really?
I don't even have to write any material anymore because my they're just so... Like just last night, my son was... I was eating with him. I was next to him. I was eating my stuff. He was eating his stuff. He was eating bacon and rice. He ate all the bacon. I took my food and my dish. I went to go put it in the sink, and I came back into the living room because we were watching TV. And right before I came back in the living room, he stopped me. He said, "Dad, you got to see how much salt I put on my rice." And I walk out. It was a mountain of white. I couldn't even see the rice.
Oh, no.
And I was like, "Well, you can't eat this." And he didn't know. He was like, "Oh, why can't I eat it?" It's just... Everything is just so funny. It's so funny dealing with that kind of stuff. Have kids now. Have kids.
Actually,
oh, wow.
This is a great time to bring it up. It's super organic.
Yeah.
Are you? No.
No.
Dude.
Okay.
Without being married, I would die.
Oh,
my mom would kill me.
Got you, yeah.
She's a Syrian.
No, but actually, one of your jokes, it's like you talk about how he says Bardar.
Oh,
Oh,
Bardar.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I slipped that.
You know-
I slipped that in
Slipped
a podcast. Somebody said something that sounded like Bardar. So naturally, because I
just
heard
thought of
you
it, right, and you
so
said
I
it,
went Bardar like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I went like this. I was like, oh fuck, because that's part of your bit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I bit my tongue, and I was like, I'm not gonna feed into it. And then I reminded myself, I was like, oh, make sure go in there, cut that out. But then I watched it back, and I was like, oh, no one's
Who
ever
cares?
gonna
Yeah.
pick this
No
up.
one's
They're
gonna
not gonna know what the fuck this is. 5 comments.
It's in... Really? Oh, that's funny.
Bardar, you got that from Chris.
Oh, really?
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I guess
how?
that's just from on the road, yeah, or something, or maybe like in town doing shows because I just shot my special and I put it on that, but it's not out yet.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
By
thanks,
the way, it's amazing.
Thank you, dude.
It is really, really
Thanks.
good. Dude, okay, this is the part where I'm going to like stroke your ego, but everything I'm telling you, dude, is it's truly from my heart. You are one of the greatest stand-ups I've ever watched.
thanks, man.
And I truly mean that.
Yeah, you really are.
Thank you.
Like, there's not a special that you could put on that you've made that I can't recite the lines. From the way you
cool.
deliver it, from the way you perform it, from your material. I got the freaking honor to even open up for Joe Coy. And my ears would just be so open when he talks about you because like he would just tell me about how you're performing. For those of you guys that don't know who Joe Coy is a stand-up comedian that I'm learning from, and some of the stories he told me, one really stuck with me. I go, so what made you like want Chris to open up for you? And he goes, dude, this guy was in front of like 6 people at a bar. And he goes, I'm sitting there and this guy is slaying it like it's a stadium. And you could see in his eyes that what he was watching in you was something he'll remember forever. And so I was like, damn, this is really cool. And then so I listened to his side of the story. And then you were telling a story about how one time you were performing at a bar with only certain people there. So I was watching it from both points of views. And it's just really cool that I get to see it from the back end of it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I do. I actually remember that night that I mean, this was, God, I mean, I opened for Joe Coy before. Joe Coy is one of the biggest comedians. I opened for Joe Coy when he wasn't selling out clubs. I mean, this was like really early on, but I knew who he was because I was, brand new in the game. And then he was...
how many years back?
I mean, it was, let's see, it was probably 14 years ago. 13, 14 years ago.
Is this when you started stand-up?
I started stand-up... It was probably, 13 years ago. I started stand-up, Jesus Christ, 2005. So it's almost, 17 years ago, or 18 years ago.
Is your headphones good, by the way?
They're good, yeah.
Okay, so I'll make sure. Because we kind of skimmed past that, so I'll make sure.
Got it, no, we're good. And so he saw me at that place. It was actually the Haha Cafe, the old one. It's a different place now. There were 6 people there. And... I was just doing silly stuff, and he was there. I had known him already through another comedian, Jason Collins, which you know. And then he was there and laughing, and I was like, "That's weird." Joe Coy's laughing, but I didn't even really understand.
That's weird.
Yeah, I know. I didn't really understand like the dynamic of opening for someone or whatever. And he said, "Dude, man, that was hilarious. I'd love for you to open for me." And I was like, "Okay." Cool. And he was like, the next month I was opening for him. We played, first gig was the Pittsburgh Improv, I remember, and the Thursday night had like 18 people there. So this was before he was, anything.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I guess this is what it is. And I opened for him for like, I don't know, I guess it was a year. And it was cool, man, learning from him. He would kill. I sometimes go up and struggle, and then he would kill. And then I would be like, why did that happen? And he'd be like, I don't even know how to explain it to you. You'll figure it out. And I did. And you just,
Right.
It's really hard to explain that kind of stuff to people. Like how to, because it's not about your material. It's just about the room and how you feel in the room. You can't describe it to another comedian if they're coming up. Like I would be like, how come I bombed and you didn't? Right. And it's just experience. He'd be like, it's not that like I'm funnier than you or anything like that. Like we both hang out, we're laugh at each other in the room, and it's just about the experience. And I get it now. Yeah.
Is it like how to read the room and how to control it?
Kind of, yeah. And then it's about also volume. It's about your energy, most of all your energy.
Right.
How many times have you bombed where you're like, fuck, dude, I don't even want to do this?
Well, I mean, early on I would bomb, but like lately I mean, it doesn't really happen after you find your audience,
Yeah.
You could have a bad set. Like, I mean, I had a show recently that was in a place that I never played. It was mainly a Mexican market. And my tour manager was like, let's just try it. So I was like, okay. And I went to Pueblo, Colorado. And it is like, I Googled it before I went there. And it was like the top, like one of the worst places, like crime-wise per person. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And so we went, and they were just like, people were literally like, I actually have a clip on my YouTube I put up. Of these guys who are like saying, like repping gang, like they're like, we're from, I can't remember what it was called, but whatever the gang was, like here in Pueblo, Colorado, like we're the gang. And I was like, oh, what other gangs are here? And people were like, there's a gang over here. Like it was, I was
No
like,
way.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a clip on my YouTube. But yeah, so I did half of my set, and then I was like, let me just talk to these guys. And so it's like, I could see how a comedian who isn't as experienced in a situation like that would fucking bomb. Because like, first of all, oh shit, okay, gang members are here. That's kind of scary. But like, I've had so much experience with people like talking shit in like bars and like, at at places where like people are watching a football game on the sports. It's a sports bar, and then all of a sudden they're like stand-ups here, and people are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, so you've been to a furniture store?" And people are like, "Dude, we want us to fucking Packers." And so. So I've dealt with those situations. So having that confidence in, all right, dude, this is gonna be fine. I got this. That's because I always say like a comedian doesn't bomb unless they're upset that they're bombing.
Right.
Because like if I'm having a bad set, I don't give a fuck, and the audience can feel that. If I care, then the audience is like, ugh, this is cringe and weird.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm
can
saying?
Like feel people's vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was given a list of no-nos. Like when I opened up for Joe,
really?
he's like,
Yeah.
never talk to the crowd. And I'm like, dude, I'm really good at crowd work. He
Yeah.
goes, look at me. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Don't talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, can I ask you why? He goes, because comedians lean on the crowd when their
Yeah.
joke sucks. And now
Yeah.
when I'm watting other comedians and their fucking joke doesn't fly,
Yeah.
and they go, so like, Colorado, make some noise. And I'm like, don't make noise, Colorado. Don't give them anything.
So what's your name? That's the thing about crowd work is like it's if you can do it somewhat, it's easy. And like people think that, whoa, this is mind blowing, but it's like, dude, you've been in situations enough to where you can relate it back to another piece of crowd work, and it's like it seems like it's so wild because it's for this one show, but it's way harder to have actual good material and make it work in every room.
Right.
Way harder.
I didn't even, I know this sounds stupid because I just entered the field of stand-up, but I didn't know that people talk about the same jokes for like a year or so.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know this.
That's funny you didn't?
I had no idea.
Wow.
I thought it was like, okay, I'm gonna try this joke, and if it works, I'll just keep it. Bro, I didn't know that you have to work on a material until it's like perfect. So I'm like,
I mean, yeah.
I thought that some of the comedians were fucking lazy when I was coming around. I was like, damn, this guy's been saying the same fucking joke for so long. I was like, get a new joke.
George's in the crowd heard it.
Hurry up, Joe. He's like, shut up, bro. You're opening up for me. And I was- no, I didn't know that. And then I got into it, and then I realized that there's an art to laughing at the joke that you already know what the fuck's like. You know what I mean? Like you're really good at laughing at something you know is happening.
Right,
You've mastered that.
Well, I just feel like, honestly, like when I'm laughing on stage, like part of it is that I can't believe I get to do this, and I'm so happy doing it that like I'm so happy that this audience gets to hear this because I think it's so funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay,
So like like for me, it's like this is so awesome that we're in this room doing this, but it's just I don't know. It's fun for me to be up there and do that. I know that the whole thing about it is to. Like a lot of comedians are like this disgruntled, like everything's wrong with the world, but like it's funny to me, so I like have a good time doing it. Joe's like that too, you know. He has a good time doing it.
No, that's great. And I mean, from just like my perspective, every time I've seen you perform or I've watched any of your specials, I mean, you can tell that it's genuine. Like when it's never, I've never seen you do anything that felt forced or didn't feel like natural. It just feels authentically you.
Oh, cool.
That's
Thanks.
what's so good about it.
Thanks.
What made you get into stand-up?
I don't even remember a time where I was like, I just remember when I found out you could do that, I was like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, my dad, we were watching Jerry Lewis do something in a movie, and my dad says that this was the time that he thought I was gonna be a comedian. Is that I said I was going to be silly on TV, and I was like, what is he doing? Is that his job? And my dad was like, yeah. And I said, is he, like, he makes money doing that? Like, because he was just being goofy on TV. And my dad said, yeah, as a matter of fact, he makes a lot of money doing that. And my dad said I went like this. Huh. And he was like, that's when I knew that you were going to be a comedian. But I always wanted to do that. I always thought it was cool that you, like, get to go and show up. You don't need anything. You don't need, like, musicians need instruments and fucking, you just go up. You don't even really need a microphone if the room is small enough. You can just go and be like, here's what I do. People laugh, and then you get paid for that. It's like amazing. I'm so lucky. So
I gotta tell you the greatest night of my life.
Okay.
Well, it's up there, bro. It's like really up there. I've told it so many times, and it's kind of funny. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's a little embarrassing though. Hey guys, this video is actually sponsored by me today. I wanted to connect one-on-one with you guys. So if you guys want a video chat, a live stream, vlogs, or podcast that is exclusive, and you really want that one-on-one experience with me, now on Instagram, you could subscribe. And we've been having amazing conversations. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, hop on over to my Instagram. The link is in the description. And let's have some really cool conversations. First time I ever got to perform in front of my girlfriend was in front of you as well.
That was that night, really?
Yeah.
That was the first time you performed in front of you?
Ever.
Yeah, and remember you
In
took
front
a
of
picture.
anybody.
I do.
And you like captivated our moment for us.
Oh,
which was
that's
so
right.
Special.
I remember thinking, I got to take this picture because it's the first time you.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Which was so sweet. by the way.
You weren't
Oh, good.
even supposed to be there. It was the first time or second time I'm performing at the Laugh Factory. Enrique wanted you to watch me.
Yeah.
So he hit you up, and this motherfucker, right before I get on, he goes, "By the way, I got Chris here." And I'm like, "Why the fuck would you tell me that? Like, don't tell me that. I'm already nervous about in front of Belle." And so afterwards, my dream came true. Everybody kind of liked what I was doing.
Yeah.
We had a moment together that I'll remember. And then I remember I was like, I wonder if I could get these people like back to my house to like hang out.
Oh,
and
right,
I go, yo guys, I'm hanging out my place. If you guys, I'm just having like a little kickback. No fucking kickback was planned, by the way. I literally
really?
just threw it out there, hoping that like you guys are like, nah, maybe next time, and then we could exchange numbers. And then everybody was like, sounds great. Where's your address? I was like, no fucking way, this is happening. So I called Jessica. I go, Jessica, roll up all the joints, get drinks, go to the store, grab snacks, and she's like, what the fuck's happening? I was like, I don't know, just fucking go.
Yeah, we were home. Like we're like, okay, let's get things ready. Let's put things out. Like
I'm on my way home. I'm at a red light next to the Hollywood Bowl. I'm calling my mom and dad. I'm like, you won't fucking believe this. I go, Chris is coming, Enrique's coming. And then I was like, oh my God, fuck, Enrique's calling me right now. Let me call you back. And then I like settled myself and I go, boop, boop. What up, bro? And he goes, yo, look to your left. And I was like, no fucking way. And I turned and all of them are out the window waving at me. I was like, oh my God, dude. That was so embarrassing. But we get here and I'm sitting right here. And you get up, like we're all smoking, we're having a good time. And this is a moment that I'll like look back. Do you have any idea what it does to somebody's brain? Watching somebody on TV all the time and absorbing and learning and like before I even did anything on social media, I would come to your shows and tell you, hey man, I'm a big fan. You come and you meet me, talk to me. And then now you're standing right here in my house. We're all chilling and you're giving us this material that you're working on. And I'm like, how the fuck did I get here? And I just want to let you know that sits in my heart like all the time. I think about you
really
all
sweet,
the
man.
time. Man.
I love that. Thank you. Think about me more. No, that's really sweet, man. It's that's funny, man, because like I remember that night, and I actually remember thinking like, wow, this is cool meeting new people, and like, I felt comfortable enough to, because I mean, like, dude, it's like, I don't know, you're really good at being in a room, like just you're very like, oh, you fill the room when you walk into the room. You're very,
Thank you.
And I know that mode because I know how to do stand up. So like obviously I know how to do that, but like often I'm like I feel really insecure. I don't want to do that, or maybe I don't know what people expect of me to be funny, but like I don't want to really have that mode on right now. But then I don't want people to think I'm like in a bad mood, right? Because like if I'm just out somewhere and some people are like, he's a dick, and it's just because I'm not like
talking.
Hey, you know what I mean? And it's like I'm a regular person, but like, so the fact that I was able to feel comfortable enough in front of you guys and all your friends and everyone that was here, that it was actually like I left that night thinking like, man, that was really a special night. So yeah,
bro, we have a picture of all of us wearing the same jacket.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That whole
sweet.
day was weird.
Sweet.
I remember when you were saying Jessica was passing out on a tray pre-rolls that she made when I yelled at her. I was like, dude, fucking people want to smoke. There was
that's
one
so
girl,
funny.
I don't know what her name was. It was the black girl comedian. What's her name? She was really funny.
Oh, who was here?
Oh my God. I forgot her name. I only met her
She was
once.
so funny.
But I never fucking ever talked to that girl. The only reason she was here is she literally said no when I invited her. I was like, all right, well, if you change your mind, there's going to be a lot of weed there. I said that as a joke.
Yeah.
And she literally goes, okay. And I was like, she's like, can I bring a friend? And I'm like, sure.
Who was it? Who was here? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
We have to look
Mark
at the
was
blazer
here.
pic.
Mark was here?
Mark was here.
Yeah.
Mark was here. He came up with
He's
some. He
forgettable.
came with another friend. But no, it was a fucking weird.
That's
it was
funny.
a weird, cool day that I'll remember forever.
One of the coolest things about doing stand up is one of the best and worst things about doing stand up is sometimes you have nights like that where you're like, who are all these people? This is fucking amazing. I made a bunch of friends. Who knows if I'll ever see them again? But what an entertaining night. And then sometimes you're like, who the fuck are these people? These are awful people.
Yeah.
They're like, they won't shut up. And like one guy like doesn't have like a bottom lip or something. Like, so because, I swear to God, because comedians I always say, because one time I was hanging out at the Comedy Store and there was a dude there with no nose. With all the comedians, he had no nose. If you looked, you could like see in his brain, and it was like, at a moment I was like, man, it was just a patio of the Comedy Store, famous comedians, and some dude with no nose, and I was just like, man, comedians, it is like the lowest entry level, like we're on the patio of the Comedy Store, and it's basically like going into it's like if you were at the Dodgers game and you just were hanging out in the dugout. Like you just got tickets and you were just like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with you guys now.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're playing baseball, but okay. And like you're there, and like Joe Rogan's there, Tom Segura there, and all these Sebastian's there, and then just like some fucking drunk dudes that are like, hey, dude, and you're like, oh yeah. Get the fuck away. You know what I mean? Like, but
I thought you guys were into that shit.
No, well,
because I don't like it.
But that's the thing. Sometimes it leads to nights where you're like, oh, it's like the night, like the night you're describing. Like, well, this is the most fucking, like, it kind of feels like magic.
Yeah.
You're like, this is awesome. This all worked out. But the other ones are like, the amount of times I've said, who was that guy last night? is unbelievable, and I never see him again, dude. I remember one time I was with a bunch of comedians that were well known, and then another dude in a suit jacket was there and just standing, and we were all talking, laughing, and this dude was there. It was at the Comedy Store, laughing, interjecting, and I'm like, it took me like a few minutes to realize he's not with anybody here. He's not my friend. And then I was like, he's not these guys' friends. And then I got mad because I was like, he's standing next to me. These motherfuckers think that he's with me. And I don't know this guy. So this guy, I remember, I did this as a joke, but this guy said something, and then everyone laughed. And as they laughed, I laughed. And in the middle of the laugh, I said, who are you? Like that. Dude. And I saw on the face, saw everyone else's face like, this guy isn't with Chris? And he was like, oh, I don't know. I was just hanging out. I was just hanging. And I was like, dude, who do you know here? And I was doing it in a jokey way. But I was like, dude, like, we don't know you. What are you saying? Like, and it was funny. We were roasting him a bit, but like that happens all the time, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on the patios
100%.
or upstairs in the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
That one's the safest one because at least it feels like it's guarded off.
I know,
not
but
the-
it's not though. You know what I mean? It just feels that way.
It's the worst because it is and it isn't, because if you are there, it's just one glass
I know.
separating you.
I know.
So they'll just stare at you through the
I know.
glass and then wait for you to look.
I know. But here's the part about the lowest entry level is like, you don't need to do any training or anything. You can literally, you could be like, hey, today you could be like, I'm a comedian, and then be like, I'm gonna go to Laugh Factory. And you could just go to the bouncer. You could figure out how to be like, they're not supposed to let you in, but you'd be like, I'm a comedian and I'm friends with Joe Coy, and like he said he was coming later. And if you get the right bouncer, the guy be like, all right, come on in.
Yeah.
And then you can go up in the second floor in that room we're talking about, stand around, and just people will be like, oh yeah, maybe he's with him or whatever. And I'd be like, hey, what's up? And you'd be like, hey, I'm a comedian. And I go, oh, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know every comedian.
Yeah.
This is the only profession you could do that.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? This happened to me. Like, I was blown away by this. And I remember telling you this. I go, this is like a cool club, but you have to be a comedian. I walked in and they were like, oh no, they knew who I was.
Yeah.
But as soon as I publicly said I was a stand-up, I no longer had to pay.
Yeah.
They were just, hey, come in, bring all your friends. And I was like, wow, it's like the Soho House, but like,
It is unbelievable,
it's not the
dude.
Soho House.
It's a trick. No, there's fucking losers there. Like it's so hilarious. It's so weird, and I fucking and because then you'll get people that like you don't know, and they're just like, and they think they're comedians, but they've been doing it for like a week, or they've been doing it for like 6 years and done like 2 shows. So they're like, and they'll be like, hey, what's up with the shoes? Hey, how come your shoes? And you're like, huh? Who are you? Don't be making these jokes. I don't know you. And what's wrong with the fucking shoes? Tell me. Now you have the floor. Now be funny. Now go. And they're just like, just like, ooh. And you're like, all right, dude. It's so weird, bro.
Yeah. Then you're like obligated to have a lot of small talk.
Well, that's just, yeah.
How do you get out of it?
Well, now at this point, I say, I do shit like,
Why'd you point at us?
who do you?
Why the fuck did you?
You know what I
do shit like. No, I don't. I suffer. Small talk is the. I mean, I don't know. Isn't
that funny that you have a profession where you talk to millions of people, but you can't do it one-on-one?
I had to work on. Like. It's very hard for me because when you do stand up, that's like the ultimate high. Like I don't do drugs and shit, and so like it's the most excited I was for a long time is being on stage and making people laugh. And then like I would have to go to like a party with, God forbid, like one of my wife's friends or something. Do you know what I mean? And then not that they're great. I love her friends, but like then I was gonna have to talk to their boyfriends and like other people, and I'm like. And here's the other thing too, like I'm actually friends with like the most entertaining people in the world. So like now some guy is like, hey, have you seen Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence? And I'm like, oh fuck, I got to talk about this now, do you know?
Yeah.
I love comedy. Have you seen Blue Streak or whatever the fuck? And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, dude, And so like, it's like, and my wife would be like, you can't let them know you're having a terrible time. And I'm like, I'm talking to them, and she's like, your face sucks. You gotta like smile, but then you're like, so I had to work on that, and I also had to get over myself because like it's shitty, and I've worked on that, and now I have learned how to actually show up because it was difficult. It was difficult for me.
Well, I'll be the one to say it for you, so you don't have to say it. But people that will come up to a Chris stature, they try to impress. So they overtalk or they overtell a joke, or they try to like make it seem like, oh, I'm funny too. And then they want you to be like, dude, you should be a comedian. And also, are you tired of people telling you to tell a joke?
That happened. Wow, man. Yeah, there was one time where you just can't win with that. You cannot win with that. Like you can't be like no, and then you can't be like, okay, here's a joke, because then they're like, huh. So there was one time where I was at, this must have been 12 years ago, but I was at this club, I think, it was like a bar, and these 2 women came up to me and they were like, so you're a comedian? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, tell me a joke. And I was like, no, because it's gonna be we're not in a good condition here. It's a bar, it's loud. You're not gonna laugh. And she was like, nah, tell me one though. And I was like, it's just not gonna work. And she was like, yeah, but who cares? You're a comedian, so tell me a joke. And then I was like, honestly, no. Like this was the first time I was like, it's just gonna be. I don't want to. I don't feel like it, and you're not gonna laugh. And so I'm not going to do it. And she was like, come on. And I was like, you know what? I said, I'm a comedian. I have stuff on YouTube. There's stuff out there. If you want to hear a joke, when you're done tonight, go home and just type my name in. And then you'll see me telling jokes. And she goes like this. Ew, okay. And I was like, you made me do this.
Yeah.
You wanted to hear it. I don't want to do it. And now I'm the fucking asshole.
Where did that go?
That's it. And I go, all right. It was like Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm like, all right, you can't fucking win. So now I just for sure say no. But yeah, it's annoying. I'd be like, nah.
I think you're so naturally funny. It's kind of weird to even ask you to tell a joke.
But they want to hear your act. But it's like, that's so different than like, I don't know. A lot of people are like, will say like, oh, you're like they'll either like a stand up or podcast. Like they'll be like, I like his podcast, but stand up, or I like his stand up, but his podcast. And it's like you just don't really like the medium. You know what I mean? You prefer one medium over another. So it's like, and you don't do your podcast on stage. You don't do like I used to say like when like when Vine got really big, like I would do what's funny, what I thought was on Vine or on Instagram for that. I'm not going to do that on my stand-up.
Yeah.
I do my stand-up on my stand-up. So, like, you can't take one thing to another medium. I feel like it always had to be its own medium. And in a way, when you're having a conversation with somebody that, hey, tell me a joke, that's not the right medium for doing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that do stand up, they try to do it so they can get into like TVs and movies. And you've had such a successful like lane when it comes to that. Did you want to do that, or was that something that you were like, oh, this is the doors are opening, let me just take it?
Yeah. Well, now it's backwards, right? Like now it's like, to me, the goal is like doing stand up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because, and I don't know if this is your point of view, but the entertainment field isn't where it used to be. It's so fucking lame now, bro.
I know.
I'm sorry. Every time I talk shit about the industry, she stresses out because she's like auditions.
But it's still, but
she loves it.
But the thing about it is it's so splintered, right? Like it's never gonna be like in the '80s when fucking Terminator came out or whatever it is. Like there's never gonna really be that movie.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but
Well, I mean, I don't talk smack about like the industry, but like as an actor, it's true. Like movies are not what they used to be. There's never gonna be a rom-com the way it used to be a rom-com.
I'll translate what she says.
Okay.
Everybody's are fucking pussies about things now.
Well, that's true.
Casting directors, writers, directors. You guys are all bitches. Like they all want to please every fucking audience, and they all suck. Find something that you're good at writing or acting in, and stick in your fucking lane. And if you're auditioning for something that you're not a fucking person of, it's called acting. You are acting to be in it. Everybody's just so soft, and I stopped. I don't audition. I don't do any of this shit because I read a script and I'm like, I know they took out 90% of the good shit.
Yeah.
I know they did. So why the fuck am I even participating in this?
I don't know if it'll come back around. Like the pendulum swings, But
Why don't you write?
Like and do movies that I write and like shit like that because it's so hard and it takes so much time. Yeah. And you write it, you rewrite it, you cast it, you do the thing, and it's like.
But you could shoot it and put it on your own internet.
True. But if I'm going to do something like that creatively, I just want to do stand up. I want it to be like my special. If I had spent, the last year working on something else, I don't know if my special would be as good as it is. I don't know. But it's not.
Do you miss acting though? Reed, could you grab me the tissue box in the back?
I mean, are you gonna ask me the hard hitting questions? Am I gonna start crying with the tissue?
No. How do you feel about this?
I don't know. Sometimes I miss it, but also it is so splintered now, like everything. Yeah. That it's like unless you're going to be in the Avengers, it's not for everybody. Like there's movies that come out now that are so good that nobody knows about because they're on, whatever it is, Hulu, and that's it.
Well, right now the movie theater is like Marvel.
Right.
Like you know what I mean, and I enjoy Marvel. I think it's nice.
They're going down though. They're trying to be too much.
Well, it can't. But forever, it can't contain it forever, right?
So much Marvel.
Honestly, they did a really good job for the length that they went
for sure. Yeah. And some of the shit's good, but
I don't want to talk too much shit because I want to get cast in one of those.
Yeah. But I'm not talking shit. No, I'm saying if anything, Marvel is the fucking shit because they're doing it. It's for everyone.
You want to get cast too, don't you?
No. But like. I mean, it'd be hilarious.
That would be amazing.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Why don't they hire a real comedian for one of these superheroes?
I wish. Have they not? No, I guess they haven't, huh?
What do you mean, Ryan Reynolds?
No, but he's not a stand-up.
He's not a stand-up, but he does comedy.
Yeah, but that's.
I think he's praising Ryan Reynolds. I think he's the only one who's actually doing it correctly right now. So, like, Free Guy was amazing.
I didn't see that, but
You didn't watch Free Guy?
No.
Watch Free Guy.
Really?
Why you don't like Ryan Reynolds?
No, I like Ryan Reynolds.
You hate him.
I hate Ryan.
Just clip it.
Wow.
There you go.
Ryan
Clip it.
Reynolds?
I hate Ryan Reynolds. No, I think he's fucking great. I just don't watch Free Guy. I don't know.
It was great.
I see him Free Guy, and I go, oh, I'm probably not gonna watch that.
What was it like being on your own show, Undateable?
Well, that was fun. That was like, to me, they wrote that tailored to me, and so that was like the best version of that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, but I don't like, if I'm not gonna do that, then I don't know. It's got to be super.
That must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Also, it was live to air. Like, we did it live for the world.
So explain how that works. Do you redo the scene twice? Or?
No. The third season, you literally shoot it while people are watching in their living rooms.
Wow.
So we fucked up a lot, and it was hilarious.
Wait. How is that possible?
It was. Neither did I, by the way.
Wait, so
Unless it was
people
like
are
the
watching
news.
it here?
People. So it wasn't taped like Saturday Night Live, where they do it at 4 and then air it later.
Mm-hmm.
It aired at 8, and we shot it at 8, and we did one for the East Coast and one for the West Coast.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
there's
was-
two versions of it.
Yeah.
So which one did you guys pick for the streaming services?
Oh, is it on streaming services now? I don't even know.
That's how I watched it.
Oh, really?
You're like,
They
where the
just picked
fuck's my
one, I
checks?
guess. I guess they just picked one. Yeah. I guess they just picked one.
Was that fun or stressful?
Oh, only fun. I don't care. What are we gonna do? Fuck it up? Who cares?
But that's like live
What do you
stand-up,
mean? What do you
right?
mean? That sounds like like, dude. Okay, like imagine. Okay, whoa. How are you not stressed? I'm stressed for you right now. You have lines, bro. Is it
Yeah.
a more improv show?
We had lines, but yeah, no, we had lines.
you
You
Yeah.
had to, yeah.
Okay.
You had
But
to
I
be
would fuck
improvising.
you would fuck it up, and you'd just be like, "What am I talking about here?" Oh, it's basically this, and then you go,
Right.
"Yeah, it was hilarious."
Who's your favorite cast member to work with?
Well, I did all my stuff with Brent Warren.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and we know each other's dialogue and language. So, oh man, we would go. I mean, we would. I shit you not. We would get the script sometimes truthfully, and I wouldn't believe someone if they said this, but the day of the shoot.
And it's live.
Yeah, we knew where the scenes were going to be. We knew where the scenes were going
You're
to be.
flexing
Yeah.
on us. You're flexing on us now.
I don't mean
He
to,
goes,
though.
I don't care. I memorized.
No, but I didn't memorize it. I would just. Okay, I got really good at memorizing. So,
Yeah.
but yes, there was more than one occasion where we got the script the day of. We knew generally what the scenes were going to be.
Yeah.
So did you guys cast knowing that, oh, this is going to be a live show?
No, because the first 2 seasons it wasn't a live show. The
I'm
third
so
season-
stressed right now, dude. Imagine,
guess if I think of it, it is crazy,
imagine, bro,
It is
being an
crazy.
actor. They were like, hey, John, come here. Hi, John. Here's your script.
Yeah.
By the way, live.
Yeah,
From this day forward, live.
yeah. It does.
What if you're
That is
dyslexic?
nuts. But that is thrilling. I think
is
that's-
thrilling.
It's a live improv show. That's your thing.
Did you do a
Yeah.
lot of improv shows growing up?
No, not really. No, just stand up. Yeah, I would just like I don't, dude. I'm so lucky to be in this situation that like it just like what am I if I fucking fuck it up? Who cares? What am I gonna do? Oh, guys, I don't know my line. I'll just say I don't know my line. Everyone knows it's live. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. If it's funny, yeah.
Yeah, then it's funny. I don't know.
Do you ever want to do a TV show again, or would you do a movie?
If I was gonna do a comedy, it would be something that I made.
Right.
I'm not gonna be in a fucking movie with like, God bless Jason Bateman, but what am I gonna do? Play like a driver for Jason Bateman? Like fuck all that shit. I'm not doing that. It's not to me. It's not funny. Jason Bateman's hilarious, but if I'm gonna do, the only thing that I would do is something that was really interesting and different, or that's it. And I don't.
Okay,
I
but you
think
have to
that's it.
pick one co-star, and
Uh-huh.
he's one of your podcast friends. Who would it be?
If I was gonna act with somebody that my co-star, I always had a lot of fun like fucking around with Bobby Lee. I think Bobby Lee.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean he's just too funny to improv with, and yeah, I would probably pick him. He's great. I don't know. I have a lot of fun with fucking Eric Griffin too. He's hilarious. I think Eric's hilarious. Yeah, I would probably pick Bobby Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, me
Just
too.
because he's a cartoon.
He is a
He's a
cartoon.
cartoon.
He's a
He's
cartoon.
a cartoon. But yeah, I don't know. I do I miss acting? I mean, I kind of miss it a little bit, but I don't. Here's the thing, dude. You spend so much time other places. Like you're gonna shoot something in New Orleans. It's gonna be 2 months. you're gonna do this movie, and who knows if people are gonna see it. Maybe it'll be on fucking Amazon Prime. Maybe it'll be in the theater. Who knows?
But isn't it the same like with stand-up?
So
you just have to love it.
But here's the thing: you have to love it. And when you're in a movie and you are fortunate enough to get a part, it's not your dream role, unless you create it or you are extremely fucking lucky. And I'm away then for 2 months from my family, and and by the way, I'm making less money than if I would be on the road doing stand-up.
Much less.
Much less. So I don't really want to do that.
So, you know what? I said the same thing to Belle. I was really blessed the first year I did acting. I booked an incredible amount of roles.
Yeah.
Made a lot of relationships, which is, by the way, this is the industry. That's how you get roles.
Yeah.
A lot of my roles were just from me booking one, and they just kept putting me in other things. Super blessed, and don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for what it was. But because I came from social media, where you're kind of creating everything from like what it is, how it looks, how you put it out. For me sitting around for 9 hours in a room just for them to be like, okay, we're ready for you, and then come deliver 1, 2, 3 lines, and then have to go back to waiting. For 2 weeks, all I'm doing is majoritarily waiting. You know what? You know the TV show The Nanny?
Oh,
the really good.
It's
the best TV show.
Yeah, back then,
yeah. I watched the whole seasons.
It's funny.
Because I was just sitting in the room.
Right.
And to me, it was like, bro, I didn't sign my life up to just sit down and watch TV all day.
I know.
And that's what it became.
Yeah.
And I was
Well,
like,
you could do, eventually if you have a lot of time, like you could just you could be filling up your time.
Of course.
Doing something, But,
Yes.
but personally, I would wait 20 hours in a room to
I
go
know.
on
stresses
set.
when I talk about shit.
No, but
No,
that's...
I would. See, that's the difference.
No, she loves it. She loves
but that's
it.
who has to do it, by the way. The people who love it. And there are people who love it. And God bless. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting fucking watching the shit because they need to be out there doing it.
Yeah.
And that's who should do it. And that's not me.
Yeah.
And that's not you. And it is
It just,
a lot
drives
of other
us
people.
differently. Yeah, you know what I
totally.
mean? Yeah.
Totally.
have you ever dated an actress?
I have, of course, yeah.
It's terrifying.
It depends on, I think, who you are, and if you're an actor as well.
Dude, she could get into any role so realistically.
Yeah.
I swear to God, bro, the first time she ever cried in front of me, I
you're
did
like-
not fucking believe her.
Yeah, you're like, come on.
I go, no
this
fucking
is a
way.
character.
Put
She
your
had a-
snot back in your nose.
Yeah.
I'm not believing it.
Is that CGI?
So stupid.
she had
We've
a-
literally been in arguments, like real
And he's
arguments.
like, "You're acting?"
And he was like, wait, are you actually upset right now? I get so, that
That's
makes me
probably
so
him just
angry.
being a dumb guy, though. I do that too.
Yeah.
I am a dumb
Yeah,
guy.
I am the dumbest. Yeah, you just
Not true.
Yeah, I mean the shit. Like, dude, the other night, Kristen was like, my wife was like, "Hey, you're eating cereal." I was eating cereal late at night, watching fucking TV, like in my underwear, and I'm going to bed. Just make sure you put the milk away, because Calvin needs it for his fucking tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, but she was like, can you, actually, it was better. She was like, can you put the milk away? I was like, I'm eating, no, I don't know how many bowls I'm going to have, like just a fat fuck. It was Cheerios, but still fat fuck. And I was like, I was watching, what the fuck was I watching? Something dumb like The Witcher, like an asshole, just eating fucking Cheerios, watching The Witcher. Like I'm 43, I'm watching it and I'm thinking like, I could do it better than Henry Cavill. You know what I mean? Like a true fucking asshole. You know what I mean? This is not even real. Like it's a movie with beasts and shit. I'm like, I don't believe it. And like this is why you watch it, because you don't believe it. And so I'm eating this shit, and she's like, can you put the milk away? And I'm trying to watch fucking Henry Cavill. And I'm like, I don't know how many bowls I'm gonna have, And so I'll put it. She's like, just don't forget. Like Calvin needs it. It's the only milk left for tomorrow. And I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking. All right, I go right here. So she goes to bed, and I watch like 2 episodes of The Witcher. You know what I mean? Like, it's like 2 hours.
And they're
go
long.
by.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, I think this show fucking sucks, but I'm gonna watch the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
So
course.
does it suck? I don't even know. Or am I a masochist? Like so. So at the end of the night, I fucking clean up, and I'm like, I'm gonna clean up because she thinks I won't clean up. I put the fucking cereal back,
Oh, nice.
and I get it, yeah. Which, by the way, I saw a meme the other day. Why don't they have fucking Ziploc on the goddamn
They should, but you know who never closes anything? Him.
Yeah.
All the
It's
chips.
too hard though.
Hey, but I don't tell her I'm going to.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
She goes, put it back, and I
Kind
go.
of on you in that way.
I asked.
Yeah. So I say.
But I think she's acting all the time. So
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
She's
yeah.
ever serious.
She's like, I told you to put them back. You're like, are you acting?
Yeah.
So I go to sleep. She wakes up with the baby now. I go down and she's like, hey. And I said, sup? And she was like, you left the fucking milk out last night. I was like, what? Dude, I only put the cereal away. And by the way, thought I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I still left the milk out. Like, so that's how dumb I am. I think I'm doing the thing and I don't even do the thing. It's like I'm delusional. It's so stupid, dude.
Where the fuck was the milk where you didn't see it?
I don't even know, dude. She had thrown it away at that point.
Because there's only 2 items, man.
I know,
you
bro.
Just...
I know.
Okay.
I'm dumb with that shit. I had a Perrier. I put the Perrier, threw it out, and I just left the milk, man. I don't know.
Do you drink almond milk or you drink milk?
Milk. Oh, well, the cereal I do with the regular milk, yeah.
See, I missed that. I missed that. I think
are
I'm going to
you,
go back. Well,
Right.
I'm
That's
going to
good, though.
die if I drink
You're
milk.
welcome.
Bro,
We're
nothing,
all gonna
bro,
die, but yeah.
nothing I could eat now without
Yeah, I
her
know.
fucking explaining some
It's
shit.
America, though. They just, but that's how America. Everything sucks. You got to eat it anyway. It's like, oh.
Yeah, everything sucks. So I'm trying to make it not suck for
I
his
get it.
body.
I
You
get it.
know.
I get
FDA
it.
just approved lab-grown meat.
It's disgusting. Yeah,
I'm
I saw
actually
that.
convinced FDA stands fuck the Americans.
It's like a rap group. Fuck the Americans. I can't imagine that's good.
No.
That's disgusting, dude.
I just.
Do you ever see those TikToks of like
Yeah.
fast food? I can't eat fast food anymore
I know.
because of the employees.
Oh, what do they do? Jerk off in it and stuff?
Well, no, they're like they want you to eat this, and then they selfie it, and they're like, just what they're showing me. I'm like, I
Ew,
can't
no.
ever eat Taco Bell ever again.
Don't even talk to me about Taco Bell, okay?
What?
See how she sized up on you, bro?
Chris, I had a 4-day, food poisoning situation from Taco Bell. And I drank an iced coffee from there, and I remember biting like less than half of my burrito, okay? And I was down bad, like out.
That's
She doesn't have it anymore.
horrible.
I can't even
Do you fast
think
food?
about it.
I don't eat fast food. I do eat In-N-Out, but I don't eat any.
In-N-Out's good.
I mean, it is technically fast food, right? But like,
Yeah.
I don't eat McDonald's. I don't eat Burger King. I don't eat. Dude, I remember one time, and I would always talk about my podcast. I don't eat fast food because it's disgusting because it's not even real food. And then Burger King hit me up and they were like, "Hey, will you do a thing for us?" And I was like, "No, how much?" and they were like, "This much," and it was a lot. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll fucking do that shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't care." And so I was like, they were like, "You got to eat the burger on camera and like put it on your social media and shit." So I was like, "All right." So I was like, I'm gonna hate this because I haven't had it in years. This is gonna be disgusting for me, but I gotta act like I like it. You know? So I got the burger. I remember I was in New York. I got the burger. I brought it back to my hotel room. I had to film myself eating it, and brought it back. I took the thing out, and I was like, "All right, come on, Chris, acting, right? Get the fucking shit going. Act like you love it." And this is a testament to how engineered and good they make it taste. I took one bite, dude. I hadn't eaten it for like 15 years straight up. I had no fast food for 15 years. I took a bite and it was like fucking, it was like so good.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, these motherfuckers, dude. It's just tricking your brain into, like, they're just pumping it full of shit that you get addicted to.
yeah.
Are you allowed to be talking the way you're talking after doing this brain?
I don't give a fuck.
It was a long time ago.
I'm stressed for you, man. Did you review the contract?
Has it been long enough on your
It probably has been. But it was good.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing. And I was like, wow, man. I thought, like, I wouldn't like it, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't had it since, but
They should do a commercial where you're like, this actually fucking sucks, but what we do to it makes you believe.
Well, I know.
Now I want it.
Well, nobody actually
Could
thinks.
you put the AC on, please?
Yeah. But nobody knows. Everybody knows fast food is terrible for you. I mean,
No, you know what? It sucks because other countries' fast foods are so much
not
better.
bad for you. Yeah.
It's just not. I don't know if it's not bad for you, but it's so much better tasting. And like, I was losing weight in Australia like it was a motherfucker, and I was eating out every day.
Really?
Every day. I called her. I was like, "Yo, what's good?" Also, I changed my water supply. I don't drink regular water anymore. I drink spring water imported.
From where?
It's Mountain Valley water, I think.
Really? Fuck.
The one that you get at like Whole Foods.
I gotta do that.
Dude.
Water is very.
So water is very important. If you go to like China, they won't even open you up. If you drink America water, they're like they put you on like a 6 to 7 month plan on spring water. I noticed.
You mean before surgery?
They won't open you up. I noticed this because I had an aunt that had a heart problem, and they put her on spring water. They're like, don't drink the tap water, don't drink this filtered water. And once they said that, I was like, okay, well, what the fuck? Why not us? So then I went down this rabbit hole, bro. And it's true. In fact, when we had Sean O'Malley on, they drink spring water too. They don't drink regular water. Chris, I'm gonna change your life.
People fucking. I drink Arrowhead on my podcast, and people are like, "Bro, they act like it's fucking milkshakes." Like I'm just like,
well, the plastic in there. So like when it's being shipped, it's in a really heated area.
yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
you
you're-
get breast cancer like that.
Yeah.
Well, we're just missing a lot of like the important minerals in water. You know, like your body doesn't retain magnesium. You need to be constantly taking it in. So.
I gotta get more
know?
magnesium.
Yeah, honestly, no, seriously.
How do you
Go
do
to
a podcast by
GNC.
yourself? How is that possible?
I don't know. Every episode, I swear to God, I'm like 300 something episodes in. Every time I'm done, I'm like, that's the last one. How the fuck? I swear to God. And then the next week, I got to come in and I'm like, how am I going to do this? And then I just get going and I do it.
How long have you been doing it for now?
Well, I have 330 episodes or 40 episodes, so however many weeks that is.
When do you stop getting nervous
Doing what?
podcasting? Do you get nervous or no? Well, you don't even have guests. You just chill by yourself.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like, I don't know how, like, I mean, I don't know if it's a comedy podcast, that's one thing. That's fine. But like, you having me on, you know what you're gonna get. Like we have a good rapport. But like, what happens when you like kind of ask somebody to do a podcast and you don't?
Bro, I've been there.
You know what I'm saying?
I've been there.
Yeah.
Jess, I'm so sorry. Could you get the AC? I got cold.
Yeah.
Nice. It's good. Quick shot and then.
It just it just rejuvenates
Yeah.
the room. No, I had that happen. There is a few episodes that I've recorded where I just don't even put out.
Got it.
Dudes,
And it's nobody's fault.
Fighters
It's
are
just
hard to
like-
talk to.
Well, yeah, no shit.
I
would
didn't know
think
that.
so.
I didn't know that.
I mean, not everybody's like.
I'm shooting with Jorge Masvidal tomorrow.
Oh wow.
And I'm like nervous because
Yeah.
like what if he doesn't like me and then he gets mad and wants to fight me?
Yeah. Well,
Why
then,
do you keep thinking this? This is what you thought last time.
But by
too.
the
They're not
way,
gonna
though,
fight
you fucking then you can make a lot of money though. You could be like, yeah, now you got to pay me. You beat the shit out of me.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. I think a lot of times though, they're probably feeling that same way. So
I could. Yeah, no. So my team said that to me because I was like, bro, I don't think he likes me. There was one individual. I was like, I don't think he likes me. And they're like, bro, he was nervous.
yeah.
And I'm not used to that. I'm used to
Yeah.
being the nervous one, and they're like breaking people out of the show.
dude, it's funny though because like when you say the thing about like early on in the podcast, you were saying like how that night when I saw you do stand up and shit, how it like was something that you remember. Like, I don't think of that way. 'Cause
Unforgettable?
I'm just me. No.
I don't even remember the set. It was so terrible. Dude.
No, I'm saying like you found it like cool that I was watching and that I came over that night. I don't think like that. I'm just like, I hope I'm accepted.
Yeah.
You know? Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But that's
It's all
human.
perspective, bro. You were the guy that I watched doing stand. You were the guy that motivated me to even do stand up.
Oh.
There's a different perspective. I could have bombed in front of you, and all this would have been you're like, oh, he sucks. That, and then you move on.
Yeah.
My whole life,
Right,
I have to break up with my girlfriend.
Right. He took that picture and fucking
Dude, it's your fault. You were staring at me and smiling.
But yeah, no, but my point is that I don't like, that's very touching for you to tell me that because I didn't know that. And here I am thinking like, oh, you know, I hope that these new people like me. Like that people forget that people are actually people, you know?
Yeah.
You think this fighter's coming, he doesn't like me, or this fighter's coming, I don't know. But the fighter is like, oh, this isn't my world. I don't know how to do this. This guy's funny. I just beat people up. He probably thinks I'm a fucking oaf. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what they're thinking?
True, I guess. You know, it's funny. Jorge Masvidal is a very he's a very gangster fighter.
Yeah.
A very gangster fighter. Messaging him, like, it's cool messaging with people that I'm like inspired by, and then there's people that like, you know, have on the show, or like we have cool fighters. And I was excited to talk to Jorge because I've already done an episode with him on Impulsive.
Oh, cool.
And I had a great time with him. His form of communication is voice notes.
Oh.
And bro, I'm so sorry. Nothing makes me giggle more than having like just a true fucking real gangster voice note you some shit.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, dog, I'm talking my team right now.
I know.
If we're gonna get you some times, I'm gonna send it back to you. And then I'm like, yo, 12 noon, we good? And then he hits me up, no, we gotta change that shit. And I was like, yeah,
Just
whatever
every
you want, bro.
response is a voice note.
Yeah, every response is a whatever you want, bro.
That's funny. Yeah, it's so not gangster to use technology, you know? Yeah.
Have you ever been?
This is where I was send a laughing crying emoji, but I only fucking voice no shit.
Yeah.
So this is what that is. Laughing crying emoji.
Heart.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever been a time where you've been nervous in front of somebody and like?
Oh yeah, but I mean lately I'm trying to think.
Not lately. I feel like that'd be hard. I'm talking about like coming up. Like there has to have been a story. Like
I remember there was one time where I still have the note. It's cute, but I was on stage and they came up and handed me a note because I was gonna bring the next comic on. And it says bring up Chris Rock, and I was like, oh fuck. I was like, thank God I didn't know he was here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
That's cool.
yeah. Oh yeah, dude. There was one time where I walked into the Comedy Store late at night and it was potluck. I mean, I was just they needed a comic, and there were two people in the room, in the audience, and I was like, oh. And Don Barris, the guy who ran the late night over there, was like, hey, you want to go up next? And I was like, maybe. There's two people here. One of them is Dr. Dre. Okay.
No way.
This is the weirdest Hollywood shit.
what the fuck?
But one of the people is Dr. fucking Dre. Like Dr. Dre, the producer rapper. Dr.
Yeah.
Dre.
And who's there?
Did he buy out the rest of the tickets?
Honestly, that question is valid, but also, who cares? It was Dr. Dre. Do you know what I mean? It
So
could
he was
have been
alone. He was like this.
No, he was him with another person. I have no idea who the other person was. It could have been Brad Pitt. Who gives a shit?
Right.
It's Dr. Dre, right? So, because I'm like, yeah, he's famous, but also, like, he's from NWA, like he's gangster and shit. I'm like, he's gonna fucking think I'm a bitch. Like, there's besides the fact that he's famous, it's like. So I say to Don Barris, I was like, you know what, dude, I'm not gonna go up. Just two people, and he pulls me aside and he said, I wasn't at all anyone. I wasn't a name, and he said, hey man, I know why you don't want to go up, because maybe there's people in the audience. By the way, the audience are two people. He's like, you're a comedian. You got to go up. This is why you are a comedian. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'll go up. So I go up, and it's Dr. Dre and another guy. And I just have a conversation with Dr. Dre. It was like I was doing a fucking podcast.
No way.
Yeah. And I'm making fun of him because that's my default on stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, I knew he was Dr. Dre. He knew I knew he was Dr. Dre.
What if
and
he took that shit like really bad? What if he's like hot and he's
But
like,
But that's the other thing. It's like this all prepares you for the
getting jumped?
no for these moments, and like I was saying the other night with the gang members and shit, and like but so I do my set. It went how it went. It didn't go good or bad because it was just fucking a conversation. And I leave, and as I leave, Dr. Dre walks out, and everyone is like, "Can I get a picture?" And he's just like, "Nah." And walking by, people just leaving. And then I think it would be cool to get a picture with Dr. Dre, but I saw him say no to people before.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, maybe he'll respect the fact that I was on stage and did what I did. And
Nice.
so he was past the Comedy Store and down the sidewalk a bit. And I was like, I'm just going to throw out a Hail Mary. And I actually said, which is so ridiculous, but I said, hey, Dre. Like I fucking... so... And I'll never forget, he stopped. I don't even know, wasn't looking at me. He just stopped, turned around, and looked at me. And I was like, maybe he recognized my voice from being on stage, but it's crazy. Like, because you get recognized. Sometimes people are like, hey, well, fucking George. And you're like, keep walking.
Moving,
you know what I mean? If I turn around, who knows who it is. And so, but he stopped. Turned around.
Fuck you.
Yeah. So he turns around and I say, can I get a picture? And he fucking walks back over, takes a picture with me. And I go, hey, man, thanks a lot. And then he walked away. And it was just a really special moment because I was like, wow. In my head, I was like, oh, you respected that I went on stage anyway. Who knows? But like, he wasn't taking pictures with other people. And so yeah, it was just, I was kind of nervous for that. Yeah. And then one time there was Quentin Tarantino. He was one of the only people in the audience. I definitely bombed that night.
Really?
Yes, for sure.
When did you notice that it was Quentin Tarantino?
And when did you notice you were bombing?
I knew it was him. And I wanted to go up. Because I'm like, oh, he's going to think I'm good. And I just fucking bombed hard. Fucking so hard. I mean, it was years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, though, it's like other comedians sometimes, like I guess maybe like I don't know, I don't really care anymore. Like even if it's Chappelle, and like I'm a comedian, he knows if I don't do well, if he were to watch, like who cares? Like
has Chappelle ever watched you?
Yeah. We were on a tour together. The Oddball tour, so I'm sure he saw me there. But yeah, we would do different cities. Louis was on that tour a bit, so yeah, But no, I don't really get nervous anymore because I just don't. I don't care enough about bombing. I don't give a fuck. Like I have my audience and they're cool and like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Once you get to that level though, you get better.
Yeah.
It's good. So. You're just like truly comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you have a relationship with Rogan?
Yeah.
And how did that start?
He was at the Improv, and I knew him through another friend, Brian Callen, and we just became fast friends. Like he was a cool dude to me right away. Like, and I don't know. It was like we just would laugh with each other, and I did his podcast a few times. And since he's moved to Austin and opened up his comedy club, I haven't been out there. I did my show in Austin, but it was at this theater. He's just doing his thing in Austin. I don't talk to him too much. It's just fucking you fall out of touch with people and shit. But like when they move and but yeah, and I haven't been to Austin. But he's cool. I love Rogan. I think what he's doing is great too. Like the media is so fucking horrible, but he's just kind of pretty in the middle there and like interviewing people and just He's not scared to stand up for what he thinks is right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is very refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Carlos Mencia thing I watched, that was wild. Especially back then.
Long time ago? Yeah.
That's for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Joe was sick of a comedian stealing material. Mm-hmm. And this is before he was even Joe Rogan at the level he's at.
Yeah.
For you to take a stage where a comedian's way bigger than you.
He was bigger, yeah.
Way bigger than you. He was a household name at the time.
Yeah.
And just in front of his own audience too, just to stand up because nobody wanted to do that. I heard he got like kicked out from clubs. He wasn't allowed to perform.
The Comedy Store wouldn't let him perform there anymore after that.
But it's crazy that he went from like, oh, that's a no-no, why the fuck would you ever do that, to like, now anything he basically says, the whole media is like, yeah, I guess he's right. Let's listen to him. So, but it goes to show that he didn't just wake up one day with like an audience that like loved his direction.
Yeah.
He had to like really sink and swim and like learn how to do it.
Yeah, he's got that Midas touch, man. He was like, he started doing a show that was, well, actually, Fear Factor, yeah. He started doing a show that was Fear Factor that was like one of the first reality TV shows, and everyone was like, what the fuck is this? It became one of the biggest shows. Started doing UFC, which nobody, commentating, which everyone was like, what the fuck is this? It became the biggest thing. Started doing podcasting. People were like, why don't you just have a TV show? What the fuck is podcasting? Now it's the biggest thing. Like, he
sticks to what he thinks.
He's a trendsetter.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
For there was a big career move that I made, to be honest, and to not sound corny, I remember sitting there before I made that really big decision. I just really thought, what would he make? What was the decision that he would make? Because I would see where his life goes when he sticks to his gut. So I was like, fuck, okay, like I already knew how to do it and what to do, but like, how would he do it? And so I sat there and I just really took time to think like, okay, how would he do it? And I just can't wait to meet him and pick his brain. I really want to like, I want to ask him questions I wouldn't ask him on camera, like about like behind the scenes things and how he would deal with it in situations. Because I feel like he's gone up against some giants and like crushed them.
Yeah, well, he's really fucking smart. Honestly, is what one of the things is like he's just like very smart and willing to listen. And I think those two things
he's open minded.
Yeah, those two things are really good things to have as somebody who wants to be, I guess, this kind of. Not that he's against the media, but he's his own. He's trying to get the truth, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that everybody knows that that's his brand now, and he gets people on there that say some wacky shit, and then he gets people on there that say some truthful shit, and you know,
it's a conversation.
Yeah. Like I mean, you can't even talk about COVID or anything, and the media they won't talk about it the right way. They'll say, you know, they'll do this pussy shit, and he just won't, you know. So
yeah, no, it's important to have somebody who will just, you know, have the knowledge that you need, you know what I mean? He really has like a true understanding as to what he's talking about, and he sticks to how he feels, and he doesn't waver. You know,
you can tell that money's not buying him.
Yeah,
which is great.
By the way, when you listen, you have like a Jennifer Coolidge face.
Dude, my face does all sorts of fucked up shit. I don't know.
You
I
do
don't even
this.
know. I know.
And you look like Jennifer Coolidge.
I forget, and then I remember. I'm like, what am I doing with my face?
No, I love it.
I'm very expressive in the fucking sometimes the wrong way. It seems like some people think I'm like, are you upset? And I'm like, oh no, I don't know. Like, think about my face more. I know.
Does your wife ever like have to apologize for like
for me
for your face when you
dude.
introduce him?
I mean, she'll be like, yeah. I mean, she, yeah. Oh yeah. I don't. I'm very. She's very like everybody's happy. Let's make everybody happy. And I'm just like I don't even think of that. I'm just like I'm just gonna do what I do. So yeah, often she's like, hey, don't be. She's like, be more engaged with these people. And I'm like, yeah, he's talking about fucking pants. I don't give a fuck. She's like, well, find it interesting. I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Do you feel like she makes you a better person?
Oh, man, my wife. Well, to be honest, my wife saved my life. But yes, she absolutely makes me a better person, and she absolutely. I don't know, or I do know where I'd be if it wasn't for my wife. I don't think I would have. She's just the best. I'm so lucky. I am the luckiest dude, and she makes me a better person. And I used to think that it was so corny that people would say that shit about their significant others. And I think it's so corny when people say like, when people like do posts and shit and they're like, this is my best friend, and you're like, your best friend's your best friend, you fucking asshole. But like, man, she is everything. She is my best friend. She is my fucking angel. She's my. I remember I told her, I was like, I don't like saying you're my angel. Sometimes I say you're my angel because I don't like it because it makes it sound like you're my angel and like it's my ownership and like I want you to be your own person. And she's like, no, I like that. And I was like, oh, okay. But like I love you. I'm just so lucky and like she's made me a better person. I don't know what I'd do without her. She's amazing, man. And we've given each other 2 beautiful kids. It's just awesome, man. It's just beautiful. The best. It's so good, and it took me a fucking lifetime to get into a headspace to where I could even get over myself to fall in love like that and be somebody who could appreciate somebody else that much. And I've been through it, and she has just made me a better person and helped me.
You going through your turbulence in life to get to be in the arms of your angel.
Yeah.
Do you ever lay in bed looking at her and just be like, man, like I did have to suffer a lot to really enjoy and be grateful for the position I am in life. Do you ever feel like you would walk through that fire again?
It was all I used to think it was the worst thing that could ever happen. Everything I went through, and now I can say that I would do everything. I would go through all that shit to have what I have now. I mean, I would do anything for Kristen and Calvin and William now, who's 3 months old. But I remember being a comedian and thinking nothing would ever matter as much as my career. And I told that to Kristen too. I said, we're going to be together. There's going to be a lot of times where my career is more important and this and that. She said, I get it. You're a guy and you got to make your mark. And we've both come around to career's great, but I mean, it just, nothing is as important as that, as her and my family. And it was very hard for me to realize that. And it was very hard for me to get over myself. But yeah, I would go through everything again to have what I have now.
And it's a blessing. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. Was there like you're saying like it took you a while to kind of like get over yourself to really let yourself like be right in love and to have that. So do you remember, is there something a moment you remember where you're like, okay, this is the moment when I really fully.
To be honest, no, because it's a years of work. It's years of moments like that. It's like when I say get over myself, I mean I have to battle being selfish. Like it's easier for me now, but like I just wanted to do whatever I wanted to do in my life, and I was like, you can just kind of do whatever you want. Like I became successful. I make jokes. I go. I get coffee if I want to get coffee. I don't have to answer to anybody, and that's. I don't know. It was cool because I got stuff from it, but it wasn't fulfilling. I mean, I really love making people laugh. I love doing stand-up, and that's fulfilling. But
during the stage time, though, like everything else.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So like that's an hour a day. But like when I'm sitting and I'm with my sons and I'm with my wife, and like that's fulfilling. And I could not have realized that if I didn't go through everything I went through. I just couldn't have. I couldn't have, man. It was too.
You're blessed, bro. You get to have both now.
Yeah.
And like that's why like when I first met you, bro, like I was just so excited about what you were going through, and I couldn't fucking say that to you because I was like, that's gonna come off like really weird. But you could have all the money in the world, all the power in the world, everything your heart ever desired. But if you're not grateful for it, if you don't know how to appreciate it, if you don't know what it's worth, then it becomes meaningless.
Yeah.
And so like, I like to use God because I believe in God, but I think God opened up your eyes. So dude, you're young, you're still in your 40s.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life, when you look at your partner, you're like, that girl would fucking go through hell and back for me. And these are my kids that came from me.
Yeah.
It's so much better than having a family in the industry where you wanted it to be, where like, I'll be right back to you guys in a second when I go handle my shit. Because as men, we think that that's all we need to do. Provide, go hunt, bring
100%.
the shit back to the house. You guys all have a good life. You're welcome.
That's what I thought.
But we're fucking missing out the part because they're going to get it. They love each other.
Yeah.
But if we're missing out the fundamental of family and like love, like it, I told everybody when COVID was going down, a lot of people, majority of people were like, oh, I'm going through mental health. Or, I'm going through all this stuff. And I was like, well, then collect the data because there's something you're missing. And I was going through the most difficult parts of my life. And I was looking around my friends and colleagues and I was praying for everyone around me. And I was like, dude, this is really good. We're all going to have a time where we're like, oh man, remember those times we all like found ourselves. Because COVID was a dramatic thing, but man, like tough times bring people together.
Yeah,
and
It's true, man. And like, I know a lot of people went through a really fucking tough time starting 2020, and man, we lost people. Like, you know, like we lost people. They fucking. We lost people because we lost them, and then we lost people because their minds broke and they fucking like they became crazy. It's like mental health is a real fucking thing, and a lot of people went through real shit. And yeah, man, I look at life a lot differently now, and that's not to say I'm still without my faults and stuff. I still sometimes act selfish, and I try to keep myself in check. And
You're
like,
human.
Yeah, of course, but like. You're so right. What's weird is you're 30. What are you?
I'm 30.
And like I didn't know that. I didn't believe that shit back when I was 30. So the fact that you have a leg up is amazing. Because I was like, no, I got to go out. I got to make money. I got to provide. If I get a wife, great. My kids will be happy. I'll buy them shit. I'll fucking, you know, I'll leave for 2 months, but I'll come back and like, I that's how I thought. Like you were saying. Provide. And it's you know. That's great to be able to provide, but if you're only providing that way, then you're just providing in the wrong way. And spending time, and I mean, look, I like being a dad way more than I thought I would, so I'm lucky. But my God, man, like it's just the best. It's so fun. Like we went to Super Mario World yesterday with Calvin, and it was just so awesome, man. Like it was so awesome, man.
Do you feel like you enjoy theme
And I fucking
parks?
hate amusement parks.
I was about to say, do you find
No way.
you like it more now you have a kid that
Dude,
like looks up?
it more now. You would have to fucking, you'd have to pay me to go to an amusement park. And now I'm like, let's bring Calvin. I can't wait till William gets old enough.
Yeah.
Like I'm walking around with him and I'm holding him and he's on my shoulders and I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, I can't believe I'm here and I can't believe I want to be here because of this fucking kid on my shoulders.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it changed me, and I've allowed it to change me because that's the other thing too. I thought change was for suckers, dude, and it's just like if you're not. I always say this now, but if you're not growing, you're dying. Straight up, you're not growing, you're dying. You can't just be this non-changing person.
Right.
You have to grow because that's what happens. You know, your cells change, everything changes. If you fucking are stuck in the same mindset, then you're just still that same. Dude, you ever look at a picture of yourself fucking 8 years ago? You think, what was I wearing?
Oh, yeah.
That's what happens in your fucking mind if you stay there. You still are that bitch 6 years ago in your
100%.
mind. You got to keep going.
And through hardships is when you learn your lessons. And
Yes, that's when you really grow or die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
100%, yeah. So.
I'm excited for life, man. I really am. People's point of view, especially when I'm on the podcast, hearing your point of view, hearing your passion about being a dad, it's really inspiring, dude.
Oh, thanks, dude.
You want to give it a try?
Do it.
Well,
Go.
I mean, I can't
want
wait for
a
that
boy.
day. I've been looking forward to being a mom.
Stop rubbing your belly, bro. You're making it real.
I'm not ready like right now. No, I'm not ready right now. I'm ready
course,
the second. But like being a mom, something I've looked forward to since I was a little kid.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Were you scared when you had a kid that like your whole life would have to freeze up?
Well, I was like, I guess I'll figure it out. I was scared. What I was fearful of is, I was like, I hope I like it. I hope that I like it, and I hope I want to be a great dad. Right? Like you don't know until you have a kid.
What was your relationship with your father?
Great. I have great relationships with my parents. He's my hero. He is my hero.
So what made you so fearful that you might not be a...
Just because it was the unknown, you know. That's
Fair
it,
enough.
you know. And I know I have that default of being selfish. So I was like,
Do you think that was because were you an only child?
no, I have a brother,
Younger or older?
younger.
How's your relationship with him?
Great. We have a podcast together. It's called Lifeline. But yeah, it's just it. I just was nervous. I was nervous that I wouldn't. I was nervous that I've got this kid, but there's these gigs I want to go do. I want to fucking go do and live it up, you know. But I don't feel like that. I feel like I want him to come, or I won't do the gigs, or when I leave for the road, I'm like, good thing I'm only gone for 2 days, you know what I mean? Like, which is a relief because I didn't know I was going to be like that. But you know.
Well, you have such a big passion for something, and it's hard to think that something could ever replace that.
Totally. And I talk about this a lot in my special that's not out yet, but will be out in a few months. It was the first time where having a kid was the first time I actually, and it's, you know, embarrassing to say, but it's the first time that I was like, oh, I have to live outside myself and not live selfishly at fucking 40, 39. But it's the truth. So, you know, if that's what he's taught me, then beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though it was late, 40.
That's
But
okay.
yeah.
Everybody
Yeah,
has their
I
own
know,
journeys.
I know. That's why I'm.
But you know, it's funny. That's just a little you.
I know.
So you fell in love. The first person that made you fall in love was just a little version of you.
I know. But also half my wife. So
Do you see more yourself or your wife and your kids?
different. I see Calvin looks just like me when I was a kid. It's like crazy. And he's got my sense of. I was quiet as a kid, and which is kind of hard to believe, but he is very like. Curious and very focused, which I was very focused.
You pick up things, and I think that's what makes you a comedian. Is you can point out the things that other people really didn't reflect on.
Yeah, I think Calvin is that way.
Would you want him to be in the industry?
It's a crazy industry. I only want them to be happy. I don't care. Like, there's that whole thing where it's like, I want my son to be a doctor or fucking something that makes a lot of money. I don't care. If he finds happiness in being a barista, that's what makes him happy. I just care so much about their happiness, because I know how important that is, and, you can trick yourself and think, well, money buys happiness, but it doesn't. It just makes you kind of a little bit more comfortable. But I just want them to be happy, whatever they want to do, really.
So say your son is around like 16 now. And what's crazy about social media is that when he is 16, he'll be able to watch us.
I know.
So when he's 16, and you had to give him some advice to kind of curve him away from the obstacles that you kind of like had to go through, what's like something you would want him to focus on so he could really stay out of the fire that burns you?
What a great question. I know.
It's
It's true, though. It's very hard to understand. But you know who you are. And you may not feel that way, especially you're saying if I'm talking to him as he's 16. But you know who you are. And I guess I just want... I feel like I wanted somebody to tell me that I am good and I'm like worthy and I'm okay the way I am, And I don't know, like I had great parents, but I feel like I would want Calvin and William to know that like you're enough, because you're you. And that's what I would want them to know, that you don't need anything else. And you got to feel all your feelings. That sucks because I hate doing that. But you have to feel all your feelings. You can't run from those, which I did. I built this whole career off of just making people laugh and never being able to confront the sad moments and the dark sides and the tribulations. I would just find the humor in it and run from that. And that is something that is only going to bite you in the ass. So make sure to feel all the feelings and find good things to do to cope with it. And but yeah, you know who you are, and don't let other people tell you who you are. And it may be hard to find out truly who you are, but you already know, and you just have to get through life figuring that out. So I guess that's what I would tell him. And that was a lot of words, but
no, that's perfect.
Yeah.
It was really well said.
Now let me have the tissues.
Okay. Can I say something?
Yeah.
You are when I first met you, bro, like you were so unbelievably opening for me. And I want to let you know, and I don't know if I have to be the one to remind you, dude, but you're an amazing human being.
Thanks, dude.
You're an amazing human being, and bro, you're far past worth it. I think you just stepping up to the plate and finding out who your demons are for your family. I know men, good men, bro, great men that run away from that. And you took it on your shoulders, bro. And I could not be more proud to tell the world I'm friends with you, bro.
Thanks, dude.
I really love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
Thank you so much for being here. Dude.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, guys. Really.
Yeah,
I really
thank you so much
appreciate
for
it.
being here. You made me so emotional. It was just,
Dude,
it's from your heart, and
Yeah.
you know you can feel that. So
Yeah.
I'm
Thanks.
too much of an emotional person to watch
That's
you.
all right, man. I tell you, I didn't cry for like fucking 40 years, and then now it's just like every day, so I feel like I'm catching up. It's okay. There's so
Yeah.
much beautiful. It's sad, you cry. Beautiful, you cry. It's like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
it's just
exactly.
so much, man. So much.
Well, I'm happy to see you taking it in though. That,
Yeah.
that means you're
Yeah.
enjoying life.
Yeah.
You're understanding what it is.
Yeah.
I feel like when you weren't crying and when you weren't opening up, bro, you were just living life on fast forward, like through the
Hard
moments.
shell.
yeah.
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 I'm
yeah.
glad you're here with us, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, bro.
I'm very
Thank
proud
man.
of you, bro.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Love you, dude.
Love you. I'm here because of people like you, man. No joke. For real. Thank you.
Nah, dude, you are here because you put yourself through it, bro. You did it. Not only did you make yourself successful, you accomplished your dreams, but when shit got tough, you didn't tuck away like your bitch and run away. You said, no, I'm gonna make sure my kids
Yeah.
go through this. And I'll never forget this. I asked you when I was at the Laugh Factory, I go, what's pushing you, bro? And you said, I'm doing this for my kid. And I just want, I don't know if your kid's ever going to watch this when he's older. Everything that you became now, I could certainly stay and I could bet on my life, on everything that I've ever done. I know because it was for Calvin.
Yeah.
And I'm very
now
proud of you,
William
bro.
too. But yes.
But he wasn't around.
He
at the
wasn't.
Time, bro.
No,
Yeah.
I know. It was for Calvin, and now it's for both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you, bro. Thank you so
Love
much
you,
for being
bud.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
I'll see you guys next time.
Cool.